Alan Flynn, manager of St Mary's. What a day! What your thoughts?
I suppose at the moment we're trying to bring it back, and it's hard to believe, I suppose when the season is so long, Brittany, when you do so much work and you're kind of thinking about all the things you need to do and as a team, and then you kind of let them at it, and when it happens then, I suppose when you're long enough in this game, you end up, I suppose, having more disappointing days and close call days than actually winning days. So I suppose to see them getting over the line, I'm just delighted for them. I'm delighted for the club. I was privileged to be asked to get involved with the team in the end of the year, early January, and I just can't get over how well the club is run and the people involved. So when you're involved with people like that are so behind it and want to achieve so much, to see them achieving it, I'm so happy for them, really. You
can hear their celebrations in the restaurant behind you. But in terms of, I suppose, the expectations coming into the year, beating in the final 2 years ago, disappointing performance in the semi-final last year. I don't think anyone really wants to go drag back up over the coals of that, but to turn it around in such a short space of time from that, what was it about this group of players that?
Well, I think, Brittany, and as you probably know a lot of these lads yourself, first of all, the age profile is still young this year. The average age there is about 22. So I suppose you can imagine how young they were 2 years ago. I think Dennis was involved for a couple of years, really brought through a lot of younger players, gave them their start. And maybe, it's amazing, even last year's game, a few things went against them on kickouts, had a couple of balls that were turned over, and all of a sudden the scoreline, they conceded a couple of goals, the scoreline, doesn't look great, but really it's irrelevant in many ways. You kind of, there's a new management team, we had our own ideas, some were good and some were maybe not so good, and you work together really, and we just felt that if we could get a little bit of consistency into the team, and I think that was the biggest thing really, just a bit of consistency. We had a few up and down moments, including I suppose the first round here against Mohill. But again, that was on the back of the league final, and we had shown glimpses in the league final, I think, that of things to come. And I think they've grown as a team as it went on. They probably got a better idea as well of what was, I suppose, I wanted and what the management team wanted off them. And really they grew into it, and to be honest with you, by the end, Brittany, they were driving it themselves really,
In terms of your own impact, you came in, as you mentioned, first season. It usually takes a year or two to build a squad around that, but it's happened for you the first year. Whispers you might be heading towards Offaly. Will you still be with Pairc, or will you upset the rest of the county and say you're going to stay on with Pairc too?
Oh well, listen, I spoke to the Mary's management and the players a good number of weeks ago when Liam was in touch, and I'll be involved with coaching role there with Offaly, but I'm certainly available to Mary's, and I think the players and the management are happy enough to stay, to keep it going. I suppose yourself, there's a process there, and the club and Finton will go through that process, but all being equal and everyone being happy, I'll certainly be available next year, and it'll all work together and tie in perfectly.
You've kept yourself fairly low key in the county this year. I haven't seen you making big waves on media or social media over the last few weeks. The club have kind of mirrored that as well in terms of how much they've engaged with the media. What difference, what does that bring in terms of yourself, kind of, because you come in with a big profile, but yet people in the county don't really know that much about you. Is that by design?
Well, I don't know. Maybe there isn't much to talk about, really. But listen, I'm around. I started coaching with adult teams when I was about 24, and there's been ups and downs, and you're trying to do the right thing. At the end of the day, what you start to figure out over time is that really it's all about the players and them knowing their roles and them, I suppose, really performing on the day. And that's your job in some ways, is away from the lights and making sure that they do the work on the ground, like the management team there. And I do need to mention Brian Roach as well, even in terms of S&C. To me, he's as good as what's around, particularly related to football. He's a fine player himself, and he's still playing actually. He'd hasten to add. But he had them in serious nick, and these boys put in a lot of work, Brittany, early on. The first 3, 4, 5 months, I think you could see that there with 20 minutes to go. There was one team that was really going at it, you know what I mean, and working really hard.
In terms of what's next, obviously Connacht Club Championship comes along. I suppose Leitrim teams have been guilty in the past of maybe not giving that the attention it deserves. It's a favourable draw, if you can call it that. Is that part of the plan? have you done any research into the London situation at all yet?
Yeah. I'd be very much aware. Draw there today, and that's very much kind of part of the next step now. So, listen, we'd be doing an injustice to the Leitrim Championship if we didn't go at that, and we'd be doing an injustice to the team and to the club as well. So, we'll celebrate this for a couple of days, and I think it's 4 weeks we have between that and the first round, and we will give a lot of work and a lot of consideration to who will play, and we'll be putting we'll be really going at that game to perform very, very well.
Well, listen, the lads are still in the dressing room. They're not going to keep you away from the excitement and the celebrations too much. Thanks for chatting to us, but also congratulations, fine performance today.
Thanks, Breffney. Thank you.